Aloha everyone, and welcome back to Aloha Jen's beauty blog. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name is Jen and I am a licensed esthetician in the state of California. Well, welcome to this fall inspired makeup look video. So this is a get ready with me where I'm focusing on makeup. I have some new makeup, may not be new to you, but it is new to me. And I wanted to create a beautiful fall inspired makeup look. So here we are. So if you want to see how I created this makeup look, please stay tuned. One thing I wanted to bring up here is that I don't know about you guys, but none of the new holiday releases look interesting to me. They all look kind of blah. And I'm just really disappointed with the holiday releases this year. The only one that I think is the best release are the Hourglass palettes, especially the horse palette. This, I think, is the best holiday releases that I've seen so far compared to everything else that's out there. Everything else kind of is looking the same. I see there's pastels, there's purples, lilacs, which I love, but I have enough of that already in my collection that I don't need any more. And then just nothing looks really inspiring. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not excited about any of these releases. The one new release that I did pick up, it's not holiday, is the MPH Underpainting Palette. I'm going to show you how I have been using this today. I picked up the new Nikki LaRose Volume 2 brushes from BK Beauty, which I love them. Put those on your list. And that is it. So we're going to play with a little bit of new, and I'm going to show you how I use this palette. So if you want to see how I got this makeup look, then stay tuned. And please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel when you love my videos. And please leave me a comment or an emoji of your choice down below. It really helps my channel when you leave me a comment and give me a thumbs up. So I hope you enjoy, and I am sending you all so much love and light. And I will be back in the next video very, very soon. Mwah. Enjoy. Aloha friends, and welcome to this Get Ready With Me. So today we're going to create sort of a fall look. I do have some new makeup that we are going to play with. One's not new, but I've only used it once, and that is the Prada Primula palette. This is, I think, a gorgeous color story for fall. And if you see some of the new palettes releasing, like the Victoria Beckham Cocoa palette, this looks sort of similar, but we have this multi-chrome or hollow nude shade, which has a gray to somewhat of a purple shift to it, which is gorgeous. So we're going to play with this today. I did bring out my Natasha Denona. This is the mini ice gold palette because we may need to go into this. I have the Hourglass horse palette here, which I have not been able to put down since it arrived. And I'm sure you could see like the colors, like especially the bronzer, have been wearing down pretty much. I love this palette. I did buy a backup of this. This is my favorite Hourglass palette for my skin tone ever created. I have the new Mary Phillips sculpting palette or underpainting palette. I have the palette in light, and I have been loving this. As you see that I have been playing around with it. I have the new Dior, this is their Forever Nude Radiant Filter, or I'm sorry, Matte Filter Powder in the shade Light, which I think I've used this on camera once. And then I have these new puffs from Sephora, which I've been loving. Do I have the mini one? Where's the mini ones? So there's a pack of the mini ones that I thought I brought out, but I think it's hiding from me. It's over here on my counter somewhere and I can't find it. My eyes are just like hanging out. But I have the little mini ones too. Oh, here they are. It comes with 4 of the mini ones in here, and I have just been hanging out with using one. And then we have the big one, and these are so good. These are going on my Sephora list. And let's see, what else do I have? That, I think, is it for new makeup. So let's create a fall look, shall we? So I did use the CL Prime and Protect SPF 30 Makeup Primer. I haven't used this for a while, and I wanted to see how it goes with the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation, and I'm in the shade Vanilla. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my eyes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my House Labs concealer, and this is in the shade 21 Light, Medium, and Neutral. And we're going to blend that into my eyes. I'm going to grab my Nikki LaRose N16. And as you can see, I don't look so hot today. I'm still going through my detoxing period with block therapy. I feel like every time I do a long session, I get into a heavy detox, but I also haven't been sleeping well, and I know that's because of the detox stuff that's been going on. So I've been getting up in the wee hours of the morning, plus Misha's been waking me up lately because there's been some weird sounds going on outside. So I was hoping that I could rest this weekend, and I did take a 2-hour nap, which felt great, but I'm actually kind of like I have a sleep hangover. So yeah, I'm not feeling too good. So after I apply that concealer, what I like to do is take this mini puff, and what are they called? Tap That Puff. Tap That Puff. And it has a little slit here that you could put on the finger, put your finger in. And then after I apply that concealer, I like to go in and pat it down with this, and this helps get rid of the creases and just blends it in a little bit more. I also like to take this and just use it all over my face with just that little one. Next, I'm going to go into the YSL. This is the All Hours Hyper Blur setting powder, and I forgot that I had this because I think the last makeup video I did, I used the Osmosis setting powder, which I don't really like that much because it just kind of dries out my skin. So I'm just taking what's in the cap here, because a lot did come out because I did shake it, and I have some here on the edge that I don't want to waste because this isn't a cheap powder. So I'm just going to brush it into the lid. And this is this shade Translucent, and it is a white shade. So I'm just taking my brush, loading it up, and then I'm going to take it in my hand and just pre-blend it. Give it a good tap, and then I'm just going to go over my eyes to set this concealer. Now, I do like this as a setting powder for my eyeshadow primers and concealer when I put it over my lids, but this is also a really nice setting powder if you have dry skin, and it does come in different colors now if you want to use it underneath your eyes. So now that those are set, let's go into the eyeshadow palette. Oof, this looks very scary. So I did pick up the new Nikki LaRose brush collection, the volume 2. So I have 2 sets of volume 1, and I have 1 set of volume 2. I'll probably get to pick up another one of these for Black Friday because I really, really love it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out all the Nikki LaRose eye brushes that I have, and we're going to try to just stick with using all Nikki LaRose brushes. There are definitely 2 brushes we are not going to use in the set, and this is from the first set. So I have 2 of these each, and these are the liner brushes. So I have the smudger brush, which I love and we may use, so I'll keep one out. And then we have the eyeliner brush. I don't really use these because I find that they're just too wide and too big. So these are the brushes that I don't like from the sets, or these 2 eyeliner brushes, which is the N11. So I don't like those, so I'm gonna keep those out. But I have her new brushes here. So we have this one, which this is like a packing brush. I love how soft it is. I have this other one, which is also kind of like a mini detailing packing brush. It's great to use in the inner corner. It's also great to apply lipstick. And then we have a sort of smudger brush, or a larger pencil brush. And then we have this liner brush, okay? Those are really pretty. I love her original eyeshadow brush that came in the first set, and this is the N13. So these are only available in a set right now, and but they are sold out. They should be available in about mid-October or so. So I'm going to go into the Natasha Denona Mini Sculpt palette. I'm going to grab this really light sort of beige color. It's like my skin tone. And I'm going to put this in my crease just to give me a little bit of something right here, because this palette that we're going to play with today is pretty light, and this is part of their Hollow Nudes collection from Prada. And they had 3 different palettes, you know, one for fair, and then one for light to medium, and then one for, you know, tan to richer skin tones. So the one I'm using today is for richer skin tones. I don't have Peony, which is the one for fair to skin, but I do have Pansy, which I love. So now we're gonna go into this top shade here, which is the lighter shade in the palette. And I'm going to use that same brush. And I'm going to pack this on that brush, and I'm going to use this as like my crease contour brush and pop this shade into my contour. Now, if I wouldn't have gone in first with that Sculpt shade from the Natasha Denona palette, this can be just a little bit kind of dark for me. And I am a light to medium skin tone right now. So I'm going to do my eyeshadow first, and then we'll go into the Mary Phillips underpainting palette. And then I'll show you how that works with the foundation. I like that Mary Phillips sculpting palette or underpainting palette. I keep wanting to call it a sculpting palette. It is really nice. It's a really pretty formula. I like it for when I want a glammed look. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back in. I'm going back into that lighter shade, just kind of building this up. And I love these Prada eyeshadows because they're so easy to work with and blend onto the skin, and there's no fallout, and they last forever. And if you have mature eyelids, you know, you're seeing the texture in your eyes. These are so beautiful. Okay, so I think that looks good. So next we're gonna go into this middle shade, which is like a rich, sort of warm brown. And I'm taking the Nikki LaRose N22, and the first brush I used was N13. And these Nikki LaRose brushes, I believe, are gonna be the ones that I would travel with, because I love how multitasking they are. So I'm just taking this middle shade in the Prada Primula palette, and I am just putting this on my outer corner, kind of focusing it in that V and then filling it in the middle. As you can see, it's a very pretty color. This is a beautiful fall palette for sure for my skin tone. They are neutral, but they are warm, rich, warm browns that are neutral. As you can see, there is some red in this one. This brush applies this eyeshadow so beautifully. Okay, so now that we have that color on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this brush from the new set. This is called the N20S. This is a diffuser brush. And I'm just going to diffuse that shadow a little bit, because I feel like it's just a little bit too red, okay? Now I'm gonna go into this rich dark brown color, and I'm gonna take the new Nikki LaRose N21, which is a liner brush. I love this liner brush. And I'm going to use this as a liner. Okay, so I loaded up my brush. And with these Prada shadows, you don't have to worry about tapping them. Okay, and then I'm just going to line the outer corner of my upper lash line and then my lower lash line all the way with this brush. Grab a little bit more. So this palette is a dramatic palette for me, and it's more of an evening look. I did do a really pretty look with this one day when I tried it, and I did wear it to work, and that was the last time I picked it up because I felt like this is more of a palette for me that would be prettier in fall and winter when we're all wearing richer, deeper tones versus in the summer. So I put it off to the side. I was going through this phase where I was completely obsessing over all these Prada palettes, and I haven't picked up any more, and I have one on my list, which I think it's called not Poetry. I forget which one. It's the one with the sort of I think they call it a billiard green in it. That one looks really pretty. So that one's on my list. And then I think Pulse with the orange, but I'm gonna wait for a sell. Okay, so I lined my eyes with that rich brown. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this N22 brush that we use to apply this center shade, and I'm gonna go into this top shade with this brush after I dry cleaned it. And I'm going to blend this out and kind of like smoke it a little bit, because that's the color that we put in the crease. And I think it would be really pretty just to use that to smoke out this lower lash. And I'm gonna clean this all up with my concealer. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we are going to take this Packer brush, which is an N24, and we're gonna take this beautiful multi-chrome shade here, which sometimes it looks purple, sometimes it looks gray. And I'm going to load this color up on this brush. Love this color. This is what sold me on this palette. And I'm gonna start in my inner corner and bring it all the way over to meet that brown shade that we have on the lid and just kind of overlap it a little bit. Look at how pretty that color is. It's so pretty. Okay, now loading up the brush a little bit more and doing the same thing on the other side. At first, you know, when this palette arrived, I didn't think it was gonna look good on my eyes, but it actually does for when I want, you know, something a little bit more dramatic. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in with this brush that we used first to lay down this top shade. And I'm just going to blend that in here in that crease. Okay, take a look at everything. I think I could go in, I'm gonna grab a little bit more of this multi-chrome and just go in a little bit more into the corners here. And then I'm gonna take this brush, just kind of blend that in. Okay, perfect, that's pretty. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my Hourglass Horse palette, and I am going to dry clean this Nikki LaRose N13, and I'm gonna grab the Soft Light finishing powder, and I'm going to take that on my brow bone and blend out this crease contour shade. Give me a little bit of a highlight and then soften the edges here. This is a nice way to use your Hourglass finishing powders. And then let's see. I think I do need to go into that first shade a little bit and just kind of even this one out. I should have done that beforehand. And then I'm gonna clean this off and then go back into that finishing powder and then just kind of round that out. Okay, So that's it for the eyes for right now. Now let's do some underpainting. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the MPH palette, and I'm gonna grab this color right here, which is a color corrector, and I do have the brush. The brush is cool, but it's a little bit too long. If you have similar brushes in your collection, then you don't need this. But I don't really have anything in my collection. I mean, I guess I could go in with my Michaela Rose brushes and use those, but I use them a lot for my eyes, so I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to take this color corrector and then put this mainly on the inner corners of my eyes and correct that darkness that I see. Now, I have a lot of darkness today because I haven't been sleeping. Okay, now I'm going to grab some more. Do the same thing with the other side. So if you're a light to medium skin tone, like if you're my shade tone, the light palette actually works really well for me. I was thinking it might be too light, but it actually is not. Okay. So I'm just correcting that darkness. All right, so we have that done. So I'm going to dry clean this brush. And the next thing I'm going to do is we are going to go into the contour shade here and start sculpting. So I'm going to load up this brush with this contour shade. Now, the one thing that I wish about this palette is that it was refillable. It's not refillable. I think that would have been great because these are such small pans and you use a lot. So I'm going to come like right here on top of my cheekbone, and I'm going to apply this contour shade here. And as you can see, this is a cool contour. There's two contour shades. There's this cool one, and then there's this darker one here, which for me is more of a bronzer. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just apply this. And I just use this brush to apply the colors. I don't use it to blend them in, okay? So I don't do the contour right here in my temples because my eyes are so hooded, I just can't get it right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this along my forehead and then just kind of brush it up and contour my forehead. I don't usually contour my forehead, but I tried this method and it actually looks really pretty. The only thing that's tough for me is that I have blonde and gray hair around my hairline, and it does get into my hair and it's kind of hard to blend out, so be careful of that. So I'm getting some more, and I'm going to take this contour shade and I'm going to start to kind of carve out my jaw with it. Do the same thing over here. And with this palette, since it is, you know, light, it's not like a very pigmented underpainting palette. It's meant for more of like a skin tint or a light to sort of medium foundation, but nothing full coverage. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take a little bit here down my neck just to kind of slim it out. Okay, now I'm going to take the other end of the brush and I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm going to grab that contour shade and we're going to contour my nose. So I'm just taking this down, following like from the inner part of my brow and then down the bridge of my nose. I may have put too much there. So let me just kind of smooth it out. Okay, then I'm going to dry clean this brush again, and I'm going to go into the highlighters. So I have two highlighters here. I have a very light one, and then I have this medium one. So what I like to do is I like to mix them. So I grab a little bit of each. So first I'm going to start right here in the center and then go down the bridge of my nose. Okay, I'm gonna grab some more by mixing them. Then I'm gonna do the flower technique that she likes to do. And you have to be careful with this if you have large pores here. Be careful because if you get it too much right in here, it can enhance your pores with your foundation. Okay, so next I'm going to take the lighter shade and I'm going to kind of lift up the corners of my mouth here. And then take it all the way up underneath my cheekbone. This doesn't really work for me. I just need to get in there and really start working on that fascia a little bit more to lift up the corners of my mouth. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this other concealer right here, and I'm going to start to use that and build it on the inner corner here and alongside of my nose and on my nose because it is red, and I find that this really works to help with the redness. So as you can see, this is pretty involved and it takes a little bit of time. So it's not just something that you want to use every day unless you have enough time. But I'd also be kind of careful with these creams because if you are acne prone and you use them every day, I believe that they can clog your pores. I've heard some comments that people have said that they've clogged their pores. Okay, one thing that I never do is really contour my lips because I think it looks weird. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to contour them. I'm going to take this bronze shade and contour my lips. So I'm gonna grab some on the smaller end. And then I am just gonna start here at the bottom of my lips. Put that in there just to kind of give me a little shadow. And then I see, some on here like Nikki LaRose. She likes to use this to contour her lips, but I just always think it looks funny on me because my lips are so thin, and this actually doesn't look right on me. It could just be me, but I'm gonna try it today. I can always blend it in if it doesn't work. Okay, so here is my underpainting. And now we're ready for foundation. Okay, we ready? It looks really, really funny, but watch what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna take the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation, and I'm gonna take a dollop of this and put it in my hand. And I'm going to take the Nikki LaRose. This is the N17 foundation brush, and I'm gonna grab some of that foundation and work a little bit into the bristles of the brush. And then I like to start like right here, and I like to just tap that. Oops, I just got my mirror into the foundation. I knew that was gonna happen. So what I like to do is like just tap around this with the foundation. Come up over my nose. Okay, grab some more of that foundation. I might have grabbed too much of that foundation. Okay, do the same thing over here. And I'm just tapping and pouncing the brush, like pressing that foundation into my skin. Okay, grab some more of the foundation. And then now we're just going to work on the forehead. Okay, and then grab a little bit and then start working this down here. Okay, you see how pretty that is? It looks like I'm naturally sculpted without looking too heavy or anything like that. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Nikki LaRose N15, or is it N16 concealer brush, grab some of that foundation, work it into my concealer brush. And then I'm just going to come up underneath my eyes and press that underneath my eyes and clean up my eyeshadow. Okay, grab some more. Do the same thing with this one. Okay, so let me just look at a different angle. Go around here a little bit on the corners of my nose. Okay, so there we go. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take my little Sephora Tap That Puff, and what I like to do is just go around my skin and just take this and press around any areas that I feel that need blended in. Now you can use the bigger one too. And especially where I have fine lines and wrinkles, I like to take this and then just press everything in just for a final blend. Now, as you can see, that gave me just a very light contour, and it looks very, very natural, not overly sculpted. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to powder. Now, if you want more contouring, I can even go in with this bronzer right here and or this darker shade or warmer shade and use it as a bronzer, but I'm not going to do that. What I can do is I can go ahead and sculpt my jawline a little bit, because we can always use just a little bit more sculpting there. So you can go back over and just kind of sandwich this. And I'm just going to come like right here, right? And then blend it down. I could always use more sculpting here, right? And I'm just going to bring this line on my neck a little bit more forward. And then I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm just going to tap over that just a little bit, just so we don't have that line of demarcation. Okay, so now I'm ready to powder. Okay, so what I'm going to do for my under eyes is I actually really love to use just that Hourglass finishing powder in here. I know it's a finishing powder, but I love the way it looks underneath my eyes. So I'm going to save that for last, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go in with the Dior matte filter powder, and I'm going to just powder my face with this. This is in the shade Light. This is a beautiful powder, very beautiful. But I still prefer my Guerlain. So this just gives me a really nice matte, almost, it's not too matte, it just has a little bit of a radiance in it, but not glowy, and just evens out my skin tone and just smooths and blurs the texture in my skin. Okay, so next I'm going to go into my Hourglass Horse Palette, and I'm going to grab this, I think it's the Ultimate Sculpting Brush from Nikki LaRose's new brush collection. It's the N18. And I'm going to grab the bronzer from the Horse Palette, and I just like to take this at an angle. And then I'm just going to kind of stamp this on my forehead here, and then just kind of blend it in. Grab some more, and then kind of do that to my cheek area too. And then come down the jawline. So this is a great brush for sculpting too. It's a little bit dense, so it works really well with your cream products, but I do find I do like it for bronzer too. So it just takes some use to, or some time to, you know, get used to it and play with it, which I haven't really had much time to play with these brushes because I have just been doing really simple looks with my makeup. That is, I love this bronzer. I think it is so beautiful. Look at how beautiful this bronzer is. They need to sell this as permanent in their line. I would pick up one of these. This would be just such a beautiful bronzer for my skin tone. Now, since I have light hair, I like to come in here with this Tap It puff and just kind of blend out my hairline. I did go in here and shave it just a little bit, but I kind of refrain from doing that because I don't want it to thin out my hairline. So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to go off camera, do my brows and do my mascara, and then I'll come back for the rest of this makeup look. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I did my mascara, which I used the Kulfi Batty Lash in black. It only comes in one color. And then I went in with the Kosas Airbrow in taupe. And I also did my hair because it was getting to the point where if I didn't do it when I decided to, then my curls aren't going to come out that great. So I did diffuse it just a little bit, but for the most part, I'm going to let it air dry. So I'm going to go back in with the Nikki N18 and grab some more of this glistening bronze light from the Horse palette. And I'm going to do a little bit, oh, looks like I got some blush in there. I'm going to do a little bit of this bronzer, like kind of, oops, kind of punch it up a little bit underneath my cheeks and a little bit on my forehead. I need just a little bit more all the way around. And it kind of gives me that bronzy, sculpty look. And I just want to kind of get it in my hairline just a little bit more so it doesn't look like I have any bald spots there. And then I'm also going to take that a little bit on my nose too so it doesn't look uneven and funny, to not have any warmth there. So there we go. Even though I did contour it, I need some bronzer right there. And then now what I'm going to do is we're going to do blush. So I am going to go in, actually let's do some powder first. So I'm going to use this N19 brush for powder, and I'm going to use it for the Hourglass finishing powder because that's what I like. And I haven't used this brush yet, so I'm just going to grab some of this soft light finishing powder in the Horse palette, and I'm going to take this here right underneath my eyes, and then also right here in the sides of my nose, just to give me some light and diffusion there. So this is supposed to mimic a powder puff, and you could use this to set your under eyes with regular powder, but today I am trying it with the Hourglass finishing powder just to see how I like it. And actually looks pretty good. So I like that for that too. So now we're gonna go in with the Nikki LaRose. This is her N15 powder brush. And I'm going to grab the shade Radiant Rose. I think this is going to be such a pretty blush with this look. And this blush is radiant, but it's not too radiant to where it looks too shimmery on the skin. And I think this is just going to be such a pretty blush to wear with this eyeshadow look. I love how this eyeshadow look came out. It's really, really pretty. And actually this eyeshadow look, I don't have to wear it just for fall. I think it's just really pretty any time of the year. But it would be more of an evening look for me. So going back into that blush, applying a little bit more. And then we're gonna let that settle for a little bit. Now, I haven't used all the brushes in this new Nikki LaRose collection because, you know, honestly, like, I just haven't really had much time because I have just been so in love with this horse palette. It's really nice and easy for me for, work. So I am going in with this little detailer brush in N23. This is a great brush to use to apply an inner corner highlight. And I'm going into the highlighter here in the horse palette. And I'm going to put that here in the inner corner of my eye. And same thing over here. Just kind of take it up a little bit and into that sides of the nose. Grab a little bit more just to brighten this area and give me a little point of interest. That's pretty, it's not too much. Okay, now let's see, how is everything looking? Very, very beautiful. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this N20 brush. This is a diffuser brush. You can use this for your blush. Like if you have any type of blush, like whether it's liquid, cream, or powder that you just want to build and diffuse, or you could use this for a diffuser brush. It's really, really pretty. I'm actually going to take a little bit more of this iridescent rose blush, and I'm going to pop on just a little bit more now that my cheeks have calmed down a little bit, and just kind of punch it up a little bit. Okay, and then now I'm going to take this N20 brush and I'm going to go into this soft light finishing powder, and I'm going to kind of come over that blush with that just to kind of diffuse it, and I will actually use it to kind of diffuse this bronzer up here too. And this can kind of be my sort of light highlighter. I can also apply highlighter too, but I don't think I need it with this blush. All right, so I have another new product here, and this is the lip liner in Skinny Dip, or lip contour in Skinny Dip from Mary Phillips. So as that contouring did work, but not really on my upper lip. On my bottom lip, it's still there, but not on my upper lip. So I'm gonna use this as my lip liner and just kind of contour my lips a little bit more with it, but also line them. You can overline with this. I think this is called the overliner, actually. And mine's in this shade Skinny Dip. And it is a very nice liner. If you're looking for like a really nice contour for your lips to overline, this is really nice. This actually stays on better than the underpainting palette. Okay, so that same brush that we used for my highlighter, I'm going to dry clean it, and I'm just going to kind of blend in this lip liner with this. So you can also use this as a lip brush to apply lipstick too, but it's really nice to blend out your liner too. I know Nikki loves to apply lip contour with this brush right here, which is the N22, and what I'm using is the N23. And as you can see, this did really nice. This gave me more, this lip liner and using this brush gave me more of a contour of my lips versus using the underpainting palette. Now I have two Dior Addict lipsticks here. I have to see which one I want to use. I think I want to use Dior, I think this is Rodeo. I think this is the color that I want to use. I have Rodeo. Yeah, Rodeo is going to be the one I want to use. The other one I have is Atelier, which this has a little bit more pink in it. Let's see, we have Atelier. Actually, Atelier looks really pretty. And then we have Dior Rodeo. So this is Rodeo and this is Atelier. Maybe we'll go in with Atelier. I think Atelier it is going to be. So is this Atelier? Yeah, this is Atelier. So let's try this. I love these Dior Addict lipsticks. They are so good. So pretty. Now I have to clean up my lips because I went outside the border. Such a pretty color. So I'm going to go back in with that. Actually, I'm going to go in with my concealer brush. And I'm just going to clean up those lip lines. So pretty. Such a really pretty nude lipstick for me. It's kind of like a brown pinky nude. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with that diffuser brush again. What did I do with it? It's right here. And I'm just going to kind of go over my blush as it looks pretty bright right now, but I am having a flush. I'm having a hot flash right now, so I apologize for that. All right, so I do have some setting sprays. So I have the 2 Pat McGrath setting sprays. I have the glass skin one, which this is better for me in the evening time when I'm going to be in dim light. But since I'll be going out, like be leaving my house at 5, I want something that's not too, like, makes me look too dewy. Now I do have the Longwear blurring setting spray. This is new and this is really good too, but this gives me quite a bit of glow too. It's not as glowy as the glass skin. This is the ultimate glow. This makes your skin look like glass. It's so dewy, so shiny and blurring. And if you like that look, I would recommend this one. If you want something that leaves your skin glowing, that doesn't dry it out, but yet is blurry, this is really good. But these, you have to be careful with glowing foundations because you can tend to look a little bit extra glowy. Now, what I have been loving is this Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Spray. I love this because it doesn't glow. It just sets your makeup and blurs the skin, and it's a natural finish, so it looks like your skin. There's no enhanced glow or extra dew, and your makeup lasts all day. Now, I have the mini size of this. Give it a really good shake, and then I just come in and spray like 8 to 10 sprays all over. And I haven't had any issues with this setting spray. Like some people are saying it splatters and all that. I do see some splatters, but if you just let this dry down, I mean, it's nothing like to make a big deal about. This works great for my skin. There's no alcohol in it, and I just really love the effect that it gives my skin and how it sets my makeup. Now, right now it looks a little bit shiny, but give it a few minutes and it will set down really, really beautifully. Now I gotta wipe this lipstick off my hand, but I will wait. So let's talk about these products. I think that this palette from Prada, the Primula, oh, this is the Pansy one, sorry. I'm all over the place. This Primula palette from Prada is so gorgeous. I love it. I can actually go in and deepen that hollow shade. This one right here, the Hollow Nude Multichrome shade, which right now to me, it looks purple. I love this shade so much. So I'm just gonna go in and just deepen that just a little bit more for a little bit more oomph. These Prada Hollow Nude shadows are just so pretty, and I have two. And I would recommend putting these on your wish list. As you can see, I can wear Primula. It's not too dark, and these are really easy to blend out. And you can go in with a light hand. They don't give you full pigment. You can build them up. So my other favorite from this collection is Pansy. And then we have Primula. And these you can wear any time of year because they are meant to be nude palettes, just so you know. I thought about picking up Peony, but I pulled back on that because I just think it's going to be way too light. But I really love the formula of the Prada palettes that I was thinking it would be nice to have to use some of those colors to blend in with these. But we'll see because the Sephora sale is coming up for Rouge members. It starts on October 31st, and that's where you get 20% off. And then I think like 5 days later, it will start for insiders will you get 15% off, and then everyone else after that 5 days later I think you'll get like 10% off. So I definitely would recommend Prada eyeshadow palettes for the Sephora sale. In these two setting sprays, either the Huda Beauty Easy Bake or the Pat McGrath, this is the new one, the long blurring setting spray. I love both of these. These are my favorite. Like I said, when I want more of that glowy skin to my look, then I go for this one. when I want, you know, just this to blur out my skin and keep my makeup in place and kind of not let the oil break through, I go for the Easy Bake, and I gotta pick up a bigger size of that. So I'll pick up a bigger size of that. And this one, I say there's a time and place for it, you know, for an event in the evening, during the day. This would be like the sun would be bouncing off your skin, but it is pretty. Let me know if you guys want to see a side by side of these two. I can do that. I'm not going to do it today because I do have to leave. But I have worn this and I thought it might be a little bit too glassy for me, but my husband said it looked really good, so that says something. So these new Nikki LaRose Volume 2 brushes are so good. I love the eye brushes for sure. I love the face. I love this whole collection. I really love this for even just applying finishing powder underneath my eyes. It's such a great brush. This would also be a good brush to do some contouring too, if this one seems a little bit too big. But I do love this to apply my powder bronzer too. I will start using these more so I can get more use out of them, but they are so good. So put these on your list. Now, these are going to be restocked, I'm sorry, I can't talk, middle of October, so another week or two. And then if you want to wait for Black Friday to see if you get a bigger discount, then definitely wait. I don't think that they'll sell out. But if you want them now and you want a discount, then Nikki LaRose has a discount. I think it's NIKKI 10. I'll put it here on the screen for you. Come on, you want to say hi? Say hi. Say hi, everybody. I got a haircut. She got groomed this week. Doesn't she look so cute? So, yeah, so those would be, I want to get another set of those, and I will probably wait until Black Friday because the Nikki LaRose Volume 1, they are my most used brushes, and they're my favorite BK Beauty brushes. For eyeshadows, I love the Nikki LaRose collection versus BK Beauty's original collection for eyeshadows, but I love BK Beauty's face complexion brushes. My other eye brushes that I love and that I truly like, my favorites for my eyes, are my Refer brushes, but these are natural hair brushes. If you're looking for synthetic, I definitely recommend BK Beauty all the way. Such great quality. They have the best customer service, and the brushes are just phenomenal for, you know, being synthetic. Now, this Mary Phillips Underpainting palette, I have the palette in light, and I say it is gorgeous. I really, really do love it. But my gripes with this are it's so small, and this is like $64 or $68, and you'll go through this. Like, I've had this now for a week and a half, okay? Actually 2 weeks. And I've put a pretty good dent in these, and you can't buy refills, and these aren't refillable. So I think that if I was her, I would redesign this packaging and make these refillable, because not everybody's going to want to go out and buy a whole new palette each time, right? Because that's a lot of money. It'd be really nice if you can just purchase this palette and then refill the shades that you use the most. That would be ideal, and I don't know why they didn't think about that, but maybe they were thinking that, you know, they just want everybody to buy a new palette each time and they would make more money. But will I repurchase this? I don't know. We'll have to see how long this will last me. I don't use this every day because I am worried about the cream shades, you know, causing clogged pores in my skin. I do like the brush. Now, this isn't necessary. If you have brushes similar in your collection that are synthetic, then you don't have to pick this up, but I have been using it and I do love it. And I love her overliner lip liner in the shade Skinny Dip. This is a perfect contouring shade for me. It lasts for a while. I don't have any issues with it smudging or fading, so this is a really good lip liner. I have not tried her lip Siggies, which those are really tiny and they're like $26, not for me. You guys know how much I love my Dior Addict lipsticks. Now I have this, the shade that I'm wearing is Atelier, and it is number 527, and my other favorite is 425 Rodeo, which I love these. Now, foundation, you know how much I love my Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. I love this. This is my favorite foundation. My second favorite, And what I usually have been gravitating towards during the week, because it is a quick and easy application, is the Future Skin Cushion Foundation. And I have the shade Vanilla in both. And this one seems just a little bit lighter than the Future Skin Gel Foundation, but I love this. And I've already flipped my cushion around once, and I'm going to flip it around again. And then soon I think I'm going to have to refill this, but this is so beautiful on the skin. It's blurring, gives you a little bit more coverage than this one. They're both really, really beautiful. If you want something that has a little bit more coverage and a little bit more blurring than this one, but this one comes with a hefty price tag, but just take into consideration, you do get a refill with this, and then this is always gorgeous. I love these. My skin loves these. I get so many compliments on my skin when I wear these foundations. Nobody's complimenting me on my makeup. They're complimenting me on my skin. Now, this Hourglass Horse Palette has been my favorite purchase that I've made, I think, in the longest time in makeup, besides my Prada eyeshadows and my Chantecaille foundations. This has just been such a love. Oh my gosh, I love this palette so much. This is my favorite out of all the palettes. And it looks to be, it's sold out, which I was watching Tanya Wells' video, her recent video, and Hourglass sent the horse palette to her, which I was surprised that they did, because I thought they would have sent her one of the other palettes instead, but no, they sent her this. And as far as I know, I think she's the only content creator that received this. From what I could tell, nobody else has brought it up. But this is so beautiful, and I would really love a couple of these shades to be permanent. Like all of these shades I would love to be permanent and to pick up as singles, because I love it that much. I love it so much I had to pick up a second one. My bronzer is pretty much going down. I know I'm going to hit pan on this soon because I use it so much. I use this for a full face look. For work. It's gorgeous. It's fast and easy. This is a palette that I will travel with. Now with the Swan palette, I find that this one is great for more of a glamorous look for me, but I do have to pick this up and start playing with it more, because I put it to the wayside and have only picked it up one additional time since the last time I filmed a makeup look. And then the Deer palette, of course, I'm not using, but I'll save this for like when I want a light look, or if I need to tone down some things. And then I have my other two palettes from last year too, which I love, both of those, but I love this year's Horse palette. It is so pretty. I don't care if the shades have been, you know, they're existing, but that palette, the way it was curated, was meant for my skin. I love it so much. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this makeup look, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully I'll do a skincare video again here soon, maybe another microcurrent treatment for the fall reset series, but I'm really working on my fascia. Once I get through another week, probably through my fascia, then we'll get into a little bit more microcurrent. But like I said, I just do basic microcurrent for myself. I don't do fancy movements because one, I don't have the time, and I do what works for my skin and what I like. So if you want more detailed microcurrent, more personalized microcurrent for you, then that's where I would recommend signing up with for Microcurrent Love and do one-on-ones with her, because she can tailor a program to you and show you fancy moves that I can't. But I will try to do my best, okay? Because I know like not everybody has a lot of money, and you know, for me, I do my my microcurrent treatments for free, and it's easy for you guys to follow along because I film in real time. So that is it for this video, and I am sending you all so much love and light, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.